Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
How about some comedy for you on this Thursday with episodes of The Aldrich Family? We'll also have The Charlie McCarthy Show and Edward Everett Horton, Phil Harris and Alice A. on the Pitch Bandwagon, You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx, and another episode of Claudia. That's all straight ahead. On this Sure Happy It's Thursday, the last day of November, 334th day of the year, we have just the month of December to get through, 31 days. In New Orleans in 1803, Spanish representatives officially transferred Louisiana territory to a French representative. Just 20 days later, France would transfer the same land to the U.S. as the Louisiana Purchase. In 1804, the Jeffersonian Republican-controlled U.S. Senate began an impeachment trial against Federalist partisan Supreme Court of the U.S. Justice Samuel Chase. Married on this date in 1940 in Greenwich, Connecticut, Lucy and Desi, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz.
Listen, Fred, I got an awful problem on my hand. You should have thought of that before you married her.
A clip from I Love Lucy. Lucy and Desi married on this date in 1940. In Sylacauga, Alabama on this date in 1954, an 8.5-pound sulfide meteorite crashed through a roof, hit Mrs. Elizabeth Hodges in her living room after bouncing off her radio, giving her a bad bruise, and the only unequivocal known case of a human being hit by a space rock. Production of the DeSoto automobile brand ceased on this date in 1960. In 1972, White House Press Secretary Ron Ziegler told the press no more public announcements concerning American troop withdrawals from Vietnam due to the fact that troop levels were below 27,000. A little over a month after he passed away, CBS aired the final new Bing Crosby Christmas special on this date in 1977, featuring a unique duet with Der Bingle and the youngster David Bowie.
Come, they told me, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Peace on earth, can it be? Years from now, perhaps we'll see. Our finest gifts we bring of glory. Say the day, live in peace, so peace on earth.
Bowie didn't feel the little drummer boy was right for him, so the special Peace on Earth verse was written and arranged, and Bowie liked it. It was recorded on September 11th of 1977. Crosby died of a heart attack about a month later. It was on this date in 1979 Pink Floyd released the album The Wall. In 1993, President Bill Clinton signed the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, the Brady Bill, into law. In Seattle on this date in 1999, protests against the World Trade Organization meeting by anti-globalization protesters caught police unprepared, forced the cancellation of opening ceremonies. It was back, can you believe it was back in 2004? Almost 20 years ago. 19 years ago, in fact. Longtime Jeopardy champion Ken Jennings finally lost, leaving him with $2,520,700, television's all-time biggest game show haul. And it was in 2018, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake with its epicenter only 15 miles from Anchorage, Alaska, caused significant property damage, but thankfully no deaths. Passing away on this date in history, the tiptoeing through the tulips man himself, Tiny Tim, swinger Gertrude Ederle, actor-producer Paul Walker, actor-comedian Jim Nabors, and fine singer President George Herbert Walker Bush, and Fleetwood Mac's Christy McVie, who passed away 1 year ago today.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Mark Twain, born on this date in history, along with Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., Virginia Mayo, Alan Sherman, very, very funny man, Dick Crenna, Benson, Robert Guillaume, and Sir Winston Churchill.
I have never promised anything but blood, tears, toil, and sweat. We shall defend every village, every town, and every city. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Sir Winston Churchill, born on this date in history. Also, G. Gordon Liddy, Watergate operative and talk show host, country musician Mindy McCready, and the ever-loving Dick Clark.
I'm involved in a world that I really, really enjoy. I love music. I love entertainment of all kinds. Luckily, I like kids. You put all of those together, and it becomes sort of like a career that a doctor might have. You stay on top of the latest operations, the latest medications, what's new. It really doesn't have anything to do with your chronological age. You only atrophy and get old if you stop thinking of new things. And this particular area of making a living, the entertainment world, has a big tendency to keep you young. And I feel very fortunate to still be involved. I hope to be involved till they carry me away.
Do something you enjoy and you never work a day in your life. Dick Clark, born on this date back in 1929. And, gosh, he's been gone since 2012. That's sad. Who is not gone is the children's television workshop lady, creator of Sesame Street, Joan Gans Cooney. From Peter, Paul, and Mary, Paul Stuckey is 86. Frank Ifield, I remember you, 86 also today. I know y'all wishing my voice was gone again. From Princess Bride, Mandy Patinkin is 71. Billy Idol. It's a good day for a white wedding for him. It's his birthday, 68. From Whose Line Is It Anyway? Colin Mockery is 66. From, remember Stacey Q, Two of Hearts, 65 years old today. Football star, baseball star from Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson, 61 today. Japanese retired pro wrestler Jushin Thunder Liger, 60 years old. The son of Jerry and Ann Mira, Ben Stiller, is 58 years old today. From American Idol, Clay Aiken is 45. From 24 and The Girl Next Door, Elisha Cuthbert is 41. From The Big Bang Theory, Kaylee Kuko is 38. Mrs. John Legend, born not far from us here, in Delta, Utah, Chrissy Teigen, 38 years old today, and currently wrestling for Impact. You knew her as Naomi in the WWE. She's now wrestling under her own name, Trinity Fatu, 36 years old. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the last day of November as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. And now we head back, starting off in 1952, 71 years ago today. The Aldrich Family, starring Bobby Ellis. That's up next here on this Thursday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
The Postmaster General of the United States, W. Marvin Watson.
Each year, the mail load increases by billions of letters, parcels, and publications. To handle this tremendous volume of mail, we need a modern postal system, and we're working toward that goal. What can be done now? The easiest, fastest way to improve mail service is to use zip code. With zip code, mail can be sorted faster and more efficiently. Help yourself to better postal service. Use zip code.
And now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 71 years, November 30th, 1952. Henry Aldrich's father is sick. And we'll find out the hubbub it causes in the household of the Aldrich family. 71 years ago, November 30th, 1952.
Henry Aldrich!
Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's The Aldrich Family is transcribed, written by Clifford Goldsmith. The everyday existence of an average teenage boy like Henry Aldrich is always a very complicated affair. Life is one crisis after another. And if the normal run of problems isn't baffling enough, there are always adults around to make things even more difficult. The scene opens in the Aldrich breakfast nook, and the time is morning.
Well, Sam, it's good to have you downstairs again.
Thank you, Alice.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Henry, don't you know you shouldn't whistle?
Why not, Mary?
Don't you realize Father's just recovering from a virus attack?
Oh, did it disturb you, Father?
Well, I did feel a slight draft.
Sam, I just happened to remember.
And what have you got in your hand?
I forgot to take your temperature before you came down.
Alice, you're not going to take my temperature at the breakfast table.
But, dear, I really think we should.
I haven't had any temperature for 3 days.
Father, is there anything I can do for you?
No, thank you, Mary.
Henry!
Oh, gee whiz, I forgot.
Here, Sam, take this scarf and pull your bathrobe collar up.
Alice, I don't need anything more around my neck.
Can I get you anything, Father?
No, thank you. I just wish you'd all stop acting as though I were dying. After all, I'm out of bed. In fact, the doctor says I can stay downstairs 2 hours today.
May I have the hotcakes and sausage, please?
Here, dear.
Why can't I have hotcakes and sausage?
Because milk toast is better for you.
That's all I've had for 5 days.
Well, dear, if you continue to improve, how would you like a boiled potato for dinner?
That is certainly something to look forward to. If I eat my milk toast this morning, I may have a boiled potato tonight.
Henry!
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary.
Can't you see that Father's already irritable?
What do you mean I'm irritable?
Oh, by the way, Mary, when you come home this afternoon, will you be sure to put the vegetables on in time for dinner?
Oh, but Mother, I've got to run over to the hospital this afternoon.
The hospital, Mary?
Yes, Henry.
Any reason why Joe Graham can't come over here?
Father, he's an intern. He only has 2 hours off, and I told him I'd meet him there instead of his coming all the way over here.
Well, then, Henry, you'll have to get the vegetables ready when you get home from school.
Yes, Mother.
Must Henry get the vegetables ready?
Well, my goodness, Sam, I don't know why he can't peel a few potatoes and drop them in a pot. After all, I promised to work at the Red Cross today.
You mean I'm going to be left alone all day?
Henry, didn't Mary ask you not to whistle?
Oh, yes, Mother. I just can't get that tune out of my head. And, Father, don't you worry about a single thing. I'll be home the minute school is out and do anything I can to make you feel better.
That's fine, dear.
I'll take your temperature.
Henry, I don't have a temperature.
Well, then I'll keep you bundled up.
I don't want to be bundled up.
Gee whiz, then I'll just peel the potatoes.
Splendid.
Hey, Henry, wait a minute. I'll walk down the hall with you.
Well, hurry up. We'll be late for biology.
You done your assignment for today?
Well, I sort of glanced through it, Homer, but that's all right. I don't have to know it.
What do you mean you don't have to know it?
Homer, I got Miss Walker's system all figured out. Now, haven't you ever noticed what she does?
Sure. What?
Well, she always calls on us alphabetically. That's a fact. And last time she stopped way down in the K's.
Oh, no, Henry, you're wrong. She stopped with W, and there's only one other person after that before she comes to Aldrich.
Are you sure about that, Homer?
Well, sure, I'm sure. That's why I studied last night. Today, she's a cinch to call on the A's and the B's.
Well, gee whiz, let me start studying this.
Well, you haven't time to cram now, Henry. The bell's going to ring any minute.
But once, Homer, once back last November, she got up to W and then started going backwards.
Well, how do you know she's going to do it again?
Well, she might, Homer. She just might.
Boy, I pity you if she doesn't, though, Henry. This is the last period of the day, and she'll make you stay after school.
But, Homer, I just can't stay after school today.
Why not?
Well, I have to go right home and peel my father.
What?
I mean the potatoes.
Well, what do you have to peel potatoes for?
Because we're going to eat them.
Oh. Come on, cut it out!
Homer, you know what I think I better do, maybe?
What?
Get an excuse to go home and just skip biology.
Well, what do you tell Mr. Bradley?
Well, I'll just tell him frankly that I've got to put the potatoes on.
But, Henry...
Homer, you go on to class. I'm going to go into Mr. Bradley's office here.
Henry, will they take potatoes for an excuse?
I don't know why they wouldn't. They're perfectly legal.
Well, so long, Henry.
So long.
Was there someone you wanted to see, Henry?
Yes, Mr. Bradley. If you haven't got anything on your mind.
Yes. Come in.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bradley, I'd like to be excused from biology today.
You would? What for?
Well, I've got to help my mother get some vegetables ready.
I see. You feel vegetables are more important than biology?
Well, but I've also promised to get home and take care of my father.
Your father is ill?
Yes, sir.
How serious is his illness?
Well, he was running a temperature of 103.
103?
Yes, sir. That was about 4 days ago, and nobody knew what it was when I left this morning.
The doctor wouldn't say, huh?
My father wouldn't even let anybody near him with a thermometer.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that about your father.
Yes, sir.
Henry, is there any reason why your mother couldn't prepare the vegetables?
Well, no, Mr. Bradley, not under ordinary circumstances. But she can today, though. She's out working.
Working? Your mother's out working, Henry?
Yes, Mr. Bradley. She feels that at a time like this, it's the least she can do.
Well, I didn't know about that. Your sister Mary isn't working, though, is she?
Oh, no, sir.
Couldn't she help at home?
Well, the only trouble is she had to go to the hospital this afternoon.
To the hospital?
Yes, sir. To the general hospital.
Well, I guess there's only one thing we can do under those circumstances. I'll write out an excuse for you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bradley.
This all puts quite a responsibility on you, doesn't it, Henry?
Oh, I don't mind, Mr. Bradley, and I'm sure my entire family will appreciate this.
Now that I remember, your father wasn't present at the luncheon club Monday.
No, Mr. Bradley.
Come to think of it, I don't believe he was present last week either, was he?
No, sir. It was just a week ago today he began to go under.
And how's your mother holding up?
Well, you know Mother. Father keeps saying he wishes she wouldn't try to be two places at once. She'll exhaust herself. And him, too.
Here's your excuse, my boy.
Well, thanks again, Mr. Bradley.
And Henry, don't you worry too much about your schoolwork during this.
No, sir, Mr. Bradley. I'll try not to. Can I get you anything else, Father?
No, thank you. I have my book here.
Is your pillow all right?
Yes, thank you.
Here, I'll throw one more blanket over you.
Henry, I don't want any more blankets. Now, please let me read.
Well, just in case you do want anything, I'll be right here. Now, where'd I leave my knife?
What are you doing, peeling potatoes right here next to my bed?
I spread a newspaper on the floor, Father. You know what, Father? I saw somebody once who could take the whole skin off a potato in one long strip. Father?
Hmm? Who was it?
A sailor in a newsreel. He had a cat, too.
A cat? Who? Who has a cat?
The sailor.
Henry, I'm trying to read.
Oh, excuse me. You know, Mr. Bradley's a pretty nice guy, isn't he? He said he missed you at the luncheon club.
Did he?
Yes, sir. He said he hoped we'd all bear up under this.
Bear up under what?
Well, you in bed and me peeling. Father, do you like that intern at the hospital Mary's going over to see this afternoon?
Hey, Henry, I do appreciate your helping, but I would like very much to finish this book in peace and quiet.
Oh, gee whiz, I keep forgetting. Oh, boy, there's the telephone.
If that's your mother phoning from the Red Cross, tell her to stop and get some magazines on the way home.
Hello?
Henry, is that you?
Yes, Homer.
Can you come over to my house and work on our toboggan?
Well, no, Homer, not this afternoon.
Well, why not?
Because I've got my father on my hands.
But, Henry, if we don't finish our toboggan this month, we'll miss all the good sledding.
Well, wait a minute, Homer. Hold the line. Father?
Well?
Father, would you mind if Homer came over very quietly for a little while?
I'll be delighted if you stay downstairs.
Gee, thanks, Father. Homer, you can come over here.
Okay. George Johnson is here with me. I'll bring him along to help. And also Toby Smith.
Oh. Well, all right, Homer.
And Henry, what do you think happened in biology today?
What?
Miss Walker didn't even show up. She got the flu.
You didn't have any class?
No. Goodbye.
Well, imagine that. Gee whiz.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is that you, Johnson?
Yes?
This is Bradley up at the high school.
Yes, Bradley.
You're on my committee at the Luncheon Club, aren't you?
Your committee?
The sick committee.
Oh, yes.
Johnson, I got some bad news this morning.
Well, who is it?
Sam Aldrich. He's laid up.
Sam Aldrich is?
And just between ourselves, Johnson, it's apparently rather serious.
No.
Oh, yes. In bed with a high temperature. And his wife's out working. His daughter's in the hospital.
Oh, you don't say so.
Yes. Evidently, from what his son said, the family has been having a hard time just making ends meet.
But, Bradley, I always thought Sam Aldrich was pretty well fixed.
So did I. Probably everything's been piling up until this is what you might call a knockout blow.
Well, well.
And here's what I suggest. Why don't we send flowers to Sam and to his daughter, too?
Good idea.
She's at the General Hospital, I believe Henry said. Will you take care of that, Johnson?
Well, I certainly will. Oh, only I have a better suggestion, if you don't mind.
Yes?
Well, instead of sending flowers to Sam, why don't we send something for the whole family? Say, a basket of canned goods?
You don't think he'd mind?
Oh, we don't have to say who it came from, do we?
Good idea. Take care of it, will you?
I sure will.
Goodbye, Johnson. Come in.
Are you busy, Mr. Bradley?
You wish to see me, Miss Rumford?
Mr. Bradley, is there any reason why, when the Board of Education buys window shades, they can't buy good window shades?
I beg your pardon?
I'm speaking of the shades in the school cafeteria. Those that are up won't come down, and those that are down won't go up.
Miss Rumford, please sit down a moment.
Yes, Mr. Bradley.
That is all you have on your mind?
But, Mr. Bradley, there are 14 windows in the cafeteria.
I'm afraid, Miss Rumford, some of us don't know what trouble really is.
But you have Venetian blinds, Mr. Bradley.
That is not what I'm referring to. Miss Rumford, let me tell you about a student in this school. His father, we all supposed, was one of the most successful practicing lawyers in town. It now appears, however, that the man is in desperate straits.
What's the matter with him?
The last I heard, he had a temperature of 103 that was still rising. And there is a daughter in the General Hospital, and his mother works out. And the boy himself has to do all the cooking for the entire family. And yet some of the members of the faculty here have been jumping on the boy for not being able to keep his mind on his studies.
Is that right?
While the rest of us go around complaining because a window shade that's down won't go up. Hello, Bradley's office.
Oh, this is Johnson again. I just had another idea.
Yes, Johnson?
I've been talking with the rest of the committee. Why don't I pick you up and we'll go over and call on Sam Aldrich this afternoon in person?
Good idea. He's probably all alone.
Sure. We'll cheer him up a little.
Right.
And Bradley.
Yes, Johnson?
Why don't I try rounding up our barbershop quartet?
We'll return to the Aldrich family in just a moment. Fight communism by joining the Crusade for Freedom, the independent movement of the American people which supports Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. These two freedom networks are shattering the isolation which the Kremlin has imposed on its slave states. As a private enterprise, Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia can hit hard. Exiles speak to their own countrymen, weakening the Reds' morale and authority. They identify informers, denounce brutality, ridicule and expose the falseness of the communist line. They spike the hate and lie campaign of the Soviets against the free world and spread news the communists would try to suppress. Religious and educational programs meet the spiritual and intellectual needs of its listeners. Broadcasts to youth tell the truth about communism and the free world. Help build more transmitters for Radio Free Europe and expand the operation of Radio Free Asia. Send your contribution to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster. now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Because his mother is helping at the Red Cross and Mary is visiting at the hospital, Henry is asked to be excused from school early in order to go home and take care of his father, who's recovering from a cold. His explanations, however, have been inadvertently misleading. The scene opens in Mr. Aldrich's bedroom.
Father, would you like some toast and another cup of tea?
No, thank you.
Are you sure you don't want any?
I do not want another cup of tea. You have been very helpful, Henry, all afternoon. Suppose now you take up your potatoes and your pans and your paring knife and these tea things and that cake and this pitcher of lemonade and go downstairs and let me have a little sleep.
And leave you all alone?
I won't mind one bit.
Oh, gee, Father, I don't think Mother would want you to go to sleep without someone right here to take the responsibility.
I won't mention it to your mother.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll find something you can thump on the floor with just in case you need me. I wonder if there's anything here in this closet.
Henry, please, just forget I'm even up here.
Here, Father, which would you rather have, this umbrella or this baseball bat?
I don't care, either one.
Well, go ahead, tell me. After all, you're the one that's going to have to do the thumping.
I said either one.
Well, I guess the bat would make the most noise.
All right, then, give me the bat.
Well, here, I'll give you both and you can make your own choice. Now I'll just take this tray down. What was that?
The top of the butter dish.
Oh, well, I'll get it. It's right here by your bed.
Just leave it there.
Yes, sir. Well, goodbye for now. Whoops. Oh, I'll come back for that one, too.
Now, you needn't come back for it. Just leave. And if you don't look out, you're going to drop another.
I got it. You don't have to worry about a thing, Father.
Henry! 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 Henry Aldrich! That's a fine thing. Henry!
Were you calling iPhone?
I was. Please answer the telephone.
Oh, yes, sir.
Then pick up what's left of this butter dish.
Yes, sir. Hello? Hello?
Who is it?
What number did you call, please?
Father, what number did you call?
I didn't call any number.
Well, I guess you called the wrong one. Operator, it's our mistake. Well, isn't that strange? Listen, Father, what do you think I found downstairs?
What?
Well, just as I went down, I happened to see somebody running off the front porch. So I opened the door, and there was a great big basket of groceries.
Why did the boy leave them at the front door?
Well, I don't know. It's canned goods and oranges, and there's 2 chickens.
Good. Apparently your mother's planning to have a real dinner for me for a change.
And right on top of this basket, there was a card.
What does it say?
Head up, chin up, chest up, grin. Step up, buck up, pep up, grin. Why would the grocer leave a message like that?
Probably the price of chicken has gone up again. Will you please pick up that broken dish?
Oh, yes, Father. Ouch! Well, imagine that.
What's the matter?
Oh, it's all right. I just cut my finger on a piece of the dish.
Let me see it.
It isn't anything.
If it's as deep as it looks, you'd better put something on it.
Well, I'll get something in the bathroom. Don't worry about it, Father.
Henry! 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 Henry, where are my slippers? Hello?
May I speak with Mrs. Aldrich, please?
Mrs. Aldrich isn't here.
Is this Mr. Aldrich?
It is.
Well, this is Miss Rumford, the cafeteria manager up at the high school.
Yes?
Mr. Aldrich, do you suppose Mrs. Aldrich would like a part-time position in our lunchroom?
I beg your pardon?
It wouldn't pay a great deal, of course, but she'd get her lunch free, and after all, that would help.
Will you say that again very slowly, please?
Father, have you seen the iodine anyplace?
Henry, I'm talking on the telephone.
What was that, Mr. Aldrich?
I'm sorry, but my son is just hurt.
Oh, isn't that too bad? My goodness, troubles never come singly, do they?
What was that?
Why don't I call when Mrs. Aldrich comes in from work and talk to her then?
That would probably be best.
Yes, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Father, do you realize you're out of bed?
Did you find the iodine?
No, sir.
Come into the bathroom with me.
Well, just look, Father.
Come with me. Who do you suppose that could be at the front door?
I have no idea. Oh, I'll go down.
Hey, Henry!
Is that you downstairs, Homer?
Yes, come on down. The gang's here to help finish our toboggan. I am. Come on down.
Now, wait a minute.
boy, Toby. You don't know a darn thing about fixing toboggans. I sure do, Homer. When you sand the bottom, you gotta hold the sander like this.
Oh, wait a minute, fellas. Look, if we're gonna make any noise, we shouldn't stay here in the living room.
But, Henry, we stopped hammering on the toboggan, didn't we?
Well, sure, George, only I think my father can still hear us.
Why don't we go down in the basement?
Because, Homer, I have to be here when my father calls for help.
Come on, George. When we finish the sander, we're all through. Okay, Toby.
Oh, gee whiz. I'm sorry, Father. Now keep it quiet, fellas.
Toss the football here, Toby. Now to me, Homer. Yeah. Nice catch, George. Back to me.
Here I am, Toby. Boy, what a pass. Here you are, Homer.
Wait, Henry, I'm tying my shoelace.
Oh, gee whiz. I'm sorry, Father.
Here's the rest of the string beans, Henry.
Gee, thanks, George.
Are we all through here in the kitchen?
Sure, Homer. The potatoes are peeled, the lettuce is washed, and the string beans are strung.
Where'll we put them?
Oh, yeah. Toby, would you reach up in that cupboard and get that big pot?
Well, I'll get it, Hen.
No, you're too short, Homer. Let Toby. Oh, gee whiz.
We're sorry, Mr. Aldrich.
Father, did you know you knocked some plaster out of the ceiling?
What's that?
Goodbye, Mr. Aldrich.
Hello there, Henry.
Gee whiz, Mr. Bradley.
Howdy, son.
How do you do, Mr. Johnson?
You don't suppose we could step upstairs and say hello to your father, could we?
Why?
Is he asleep?
Henry!
No, I guess he isn't.
We go right up these stairs here?
Yes, sir. We're right up there.
Now, don't you overdo, Henry. You've got quite a load there these days on those shoulders of yours.
I?
Sam's place is certainly run down. Did you see that broken window?
I know. And plaster all over the floor.
Henry, didn't I tell you to send those boys home?
It's only us, Sam.
Who?
A committee from the luncheon club.
Well, Johnson. Hello, Brad. How'd you happen to come over?
Just thought we'd drop in and see how you are.
Well, I must have stepped on a plate here on the floor.
Didn't Henry pick that up?
Oh, that's all right, Sam. Sleeping dogs lie, eh?
Well, sit down.
No, we can't stay but a minute, Sam.
Hey, don't step on that piece of toast.
Yes, thanks for the warning.
You know, Sam, I can say it sincerely. You never looked so well in your life.
And I feel well. I feel fine.
Oh, that's keeping up the old spirits. You aren't worried, are you?
Who, I? Worried?
We tried to round out the barbershop quartet for you.
Well, I never felt better. The barbershop quartet?
Sam, why didn't you let us know about all this?
Well, I figured it was one of those things. I better grin and bear it alone.
Isn't that like him, Bradley? The same old Sam. Sam, they say it never rains, but it pours. But remember this, it always shines afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we'd better be going.
Yes, Bradley. We probably tired him as it is.
You've tired me?
Goodbye, Sam. Take care of yourself.
Well, I certainly appreciate your coming over.
And don't worry, Sam.
I never worry. Goodbye.
There, Johnson is a man of courage.
He's still young, Bradley. Vigorous. He can start all over. Say, let's go back to his room for a minute.
What for?
Well, no reason why I can't throw a little business his way, is there? Sam...
Oh, did you leave something?
As soon as you get on your feet, old man, drop into my office. I'd like to have a little talk with you.
Oh, certainly. I'll be glad to give you any help I can.
Hello, dear.
Oh, Alice.
Well, for goodness sake, Mr. Bradley.
How do you do?
And Mr. Johnson.
Well, Mrs. Aldrich, you're looking well.
And how is Sam feeling? Have a nice quiet day, dear.
Quiet isn't the word.
Well, you're not used to being alone. Sam, how do you like my new coat?
Oh, you bought that coat today?
Yes, dear. I worked so hard I had to do something to cheer myself up.
Well, Mrs. Aldrich, it's very good looking.
Yes, it certainly is.
Alice, where'd you get enough money to pay for it?
I charged it. But look at what I brought you, Sam, to make up for it.
What is it?
Some travel folders. I think it'd do you a world of good, dear, if you took a trip to South America.
South America?
South America?
South America?
Yes.
Alice, how could I possibly afford a trip to South America?
I'd go with you.
Oh, isn't that like her, Bradley? No matter how things look, she's always the one to joke about it.
Hello, Father.
Hi, Mary.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Bradley?
Well, how do you do, Mary?
Father, look at the lovely flowers that were sent to me at the hospital.
To you?
Yes, and it's the strangest thing. All the card said was, to a brave little girl.
Probably Joe Graham sent them to you as a joke.
Mary, are you home from the hospital for good?
For good?
How long were you there?
About 3/4 of an hour.
Well, isn't that fine?
Why don't we all sit down? I confess I'm a little tired.
You have a hard day, Alice.
Oh, I wouldn't work this hard for anyone but the Red Cross.
Mrs. Aldrich, did you say the Red Cross?
Yes, with the war in Korea, it's the least anyone can do.
Yes.
You've been working at the Red Cross?
I certainly have.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, isn't that fine?
Bradley, I think maybe we better be going.
Yes.
Mother, did you order that big basket of groceries down in the kitchen?
What basket?
I'm sure the store must have sent them by mistake.
Mary, supposing you give us that basket and let us return it to the store for you.
Oh, would you mind, Mr. Bradley? Somebody must have gotten things confused.
Yes, somebody must have.
Well, goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Alice, I don't know what to make of all this.
Make of what, Sam?
Mother, Father, what do you think's just been delivered?
What?
A ton of coal. And there's another poem with it.
I didn't order any coal.
It's from the Centerville Luncheon Club.
Sam, will you please tell me what's going on here?
And will someone please tell me why those two men acted as though I'm dying?
Well, that's what I say. This afternoon when I went into Mr. Bradley's office, he didn't even know you'd been sick.
Henry, when you went in there, what did you say to Mr. Bradley?
Nothing. I just told him I had to peel the potatoes.
Mother, Miss Rumford just arrived to help us get dinner.
Get dinner? Our dinner?
Yes, she said Father told her on the phone that Henry was hurt.
Sam, what did you say to Miss Rumford?
Alice, before this goes any further, get me some aspirin in an ice bag.
In these days of world crisis, when our nation and its citizens need spiritual strength and guidance, all of us should think about what religion means to us and to our country. More than anything else, it is religious faith that makes our way of life possible and worthwhile. During this month of November, people of many faiths are joining in a great Religion in American Life campaign. Wherever you are, whatever your faith may be, you're asked to join in this campaign. Take your problems to church this week. Millions leave them there.
Henry, you peeled the potatoes very well.
Thank you, Mother.
Now, who could that be?
I'll go see Father.
You're tired, aren't you, Sam?
That is an understatement. It's been a hard day, Alice. All I want now is a little quiet.
Well, you can go to bed right after dinner, dear.
Father?
Yes, Henry?
There are 4 men out on the porch, and one of them has a pitch pipe.
The Aldrich Family is transcribed as written by Clifford Goldsmith. Henry is played by Bobby Ellis and Homer by Jack Grimes. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Catherine Roth. Your announcer is Dick Dudley. Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
Good night, everybody.
The old telephone game, don't you know? November 30th, 1952, The Aldrich Family here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, Charlie McCarthy. This is Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chief hope of our enemies is to divide the United States along racial and religious lines and thereby conquer us. Let's not spread prejudice. A divided America is a weak America. Through our behavior, we encourage the respect of our children and make them better neighbors to all races and religions. Remind them that being good neighbors has helped make our country great and kept her free. Thank you.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go all the way back to November 30th, 1947, 76 years ago, the Charlie McCarthy Show here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
The makers of Chase and Sanborn Coffee and Royal Puddings bring you the Charlie McCarthy Show. This is Ken Carpenter, ladies and gentlemen, greeting you from Santa Monica High School, Santa Monica, California. On behalf of Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, Ray Noble and his orchestra, Anita Gordon, Mortimer Snerd, Pat Patrick as Ursula Twing, and our special guest, Edward Everett Horton. And here are Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Oh, here we are at beautiful Santa Monica, where the fog meets the smog.
Yeah. Charlie?
Yes, Bergen?
When I came home last night, do you know what I found?
No sound, Mr. Bones. What did you all done found, sir?
Well, I saw little furry things running around the house.
Mr. Bergen, have you been at that dandelion wine again?
No. No, it's nothing like that. Even our cook was out in the backyard, jumping and screaming.
Sounds like she got her foot caught in my gopher trap.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, I think you know what I'm talking about. Are you man enough to own up?
Well, I must confess, Bergie, I am the proud father of a pair of baby rabbits.
Yes.
I don't know whether to pass out cigars or carrots.
So now it's rabbits.
Yes, sir. It's McCarthy's Rabbitorium.
I see.
They call me the hair-raising Irishman. We sell the fur. We sell the fur and call it Santa Monica mink.
I see.
Our slogan is wrap your honey in a bunny.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Selling rabbit fur and for mink.
Yeah.
Don't you know the difference between right and wrong?
Yeah. Wrong is usually fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Those rabbits are awfully nice, though. Their names are George and Herman.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, then you won't have any baby rabbits, will you?
We have what, eh?
I say, then you won't have any baby rabbits, will you?
I never thought of that, you know. You mean because they're both rooster bunnies?
Yeah. Well, we say they're both bucks.
Yeah, bucks, yeah.
You see what that does to your little scheme of becoming a millionaire.
Yeah, no dough.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame, too, because Herman sure has a nice fur coat.
He has.
Oh, lovely pelt. Well, he should have, too. I've been using your favorite hair tonic on him.
Oh. Did it really make his hair grow?
No, it didn't, no. But he's getting so he can throw his voice, though.
All right.
While George, on the other hand, he has more of a crew cut.
Crew cut?
Yeah. And has a little trouble keeping warm until I installed a heating unit.
I see. What was that, Charlie?
I didn't say nothing, Bergen.
Yeah. By some strange coincidence, Charlie.
Yeah.
My electric heating pad has disappeared.
It has?
Yes. Did you or did you not take it?
Yeah. Could you reword that question and leave a little room for an evasive answer?
No. Intuition tells me that you took it.
Why, the dirty stool pigeon.
Yeah. You had the nerve to take my heating pad without asking for it.
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
Now, what do you call that? Well, I still call it a heating pad. But it's hot. Yes. So now the rabbits are nice and warm. And what about me?
Well, anytime you get cold, you can crawl in with the rabbits.
No. Thank you. I'm not sleeping with rabbits.
Well, then you can use the pad one night and they can use it the next. Alternating currents,
Yes. Well, I think if the rabbits are together, they ought to be able to keep warm.
Well, that's just it. They're not together. You see, Herman doesn't get home until late.
I see. Why is that?
Well, he's playing vaudeville with a magician.
I see. Well, nevertheless, young man, I want my heating pad back.
Well, I was afraid you'd find it in my rabbit hutch, so I hid it in another place.
You hid it?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, that's just it, Bergie. I can't remember.
You can't remember?
No.
You can't remember where you put it?
No, sir.
Have you lost your mind?
No, just your heating pad.
Well, now, Charlie, this is going just a little too far. I'm getting a little hot under the collar.
Say, maybe that's where I hid it.
No. Where do you think you'll end up taking things that don't belong to you?
Well, I'll probably get an all-expense trip to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's right.
And here's Ray Noble and his orchestra with a new version of the old favorite, The Best Things in Life Are Free. Improved Chase and Sanborn, the amazing new blend. It's the most satisfying coffee you ever tasted. So taste it. Taste it now. You'll hear the new Chase and Sanborn coffee being praised to the skies. But no matter what anyone tells you, you'll just have to taste it to know. Such a great improvement is hard to put into words. In fact, you may hear the ladies say the new Chase and Sanborn is just beyond words. Or an experienced shopper may assure you that it's the richest, most flavorful coffee money can buy. Well, that's mighty high praise. But still, it'll be the flavor in your cup that counts. This is a new coffee experience. So taste Chase and Sanborn now. The possibilities of the finer coffees that go into Chase and Sanborn are only now fully realized. You get more flavor, fully developed and fully protected. Every pound is vacuum packed. The new Chase and Sanborn is quickly vacuum sealed as soon as it's roasted. No other container in the world can give you so much coffee goodness. So taste it. Ask for improved Chase and Sanborn, the amazing new coffee sensation.
Oh, tisket, oh, tisket. I almost blew a gasket.
Well, Mortimer.
Well.
You here again.
Yeah. You can't win all the time.
No.
Because I was I snuzzed, didn't I?
Yes, you certainly snuzzed.
Yeah.
Where are your manners? I say, where are your manners?
What?
Well, what do you say when you sneeze?
I almost always say achoo, achoo. See?
Yes, I see. Say, I don't like the looks of this. Hey, what are you sneezing from?
Well, I think it's from my nose.
From your nose. Well,
I'm sneezing. I don't know why you sneeze. Just sneeze. I'm no doctor.
No. Well, you shouldn't be having a cold.
No, that's fine. That's all right to say.
Yeah. You're hale and hearty.
No, I'm me and Morty.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, you see, that one was kind of a dud.
Yeah. That sneeze didn't come off.
No, something stunted its growth.
Yeah.
Kind of a wet fuse.
Yes, I know. Well, colds are often caused from lowered resistance due to lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Now, you should go to bed with the chickens, you know.
Yeah, no more I ain't going to do that.
Oh, you've quit it?
Yeah. Not since I fell off the roost did I do it. Couldn't twist my toes around.
I know. Well, I certainly hope that it isn't flu.
Yeah.
Did you ever have the flu, Mortimer? I say... Did you ever have the flu?
Well, I think I had it once in Snerdville.
In Snerdville?
Yeah.
And did you shake all over?
No. Just in Snerdville.
Well, the flu and colds are caused by a virus. That's a tiny microscopic organism not visible to the naked eye.
To the what?
The naked eye.
Why, Mr. Bergen. Oh. What's your language, Em? Ain't that disgusting?
Yeah. Listen, Mortimer, now, when you go home, I want you to drink a quart of hot lemonade and soak your feet in Epsom salt.
Yeah.
Now, have you got that straight?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
You don't know. What did I tell you?
Well, go home.
Go home, yes. And then what?
Well, soak my feet in lemonade and drink a quart of Epsom salt.
Mortimer, how long has this sneezing been going on?
Well, ever since Grandpa sent me to the store for this stuff here.
Oh, I see. Well, why, Mortimer, that's a package of pepper, and it's been spilling. No wonder you're sneezing.
I'll be darned.
Why, and you didn't know enough that what was causing your sneeze.
No.
Mortimer, no one can be quite as stupid as you are.
No?
No.
I am.
Yeah, I guess you are.
Now, Edgar, get that worried look off your face. Boys will be boys. Mortimer and Charlie are all right.
Yes, Mortimer, I can understand, but Charlie, I'm really worried about. You know, I've tried to be both a father and a mother to him.
Well, that's a good trick if you can do it, Edgar.
Yeah, I know. The point is, I failed. I've done all I can do. You know, I believe I'm going to take Charlie to a psychiatrist. Do you happen to know of a good one, Ray?
Oh, yes, rather. I've been going to one for years.
Oh, fine, yeah. Well, then we'll go and see him tomorrow.
Well, no, not exactly. You see, on Mondays, my psychiatrist goes to see his psychiatrist. It's a little complicated.
Yes, well, that's psychiatry.
Yes, isn't it?
Well, then, how about going tonight? Is he really good?
Oh, Edgar, believe me, yes, he's awfully good. When I first went to him, you know, believe it or not, I was almost a mental delinquent. And, you know, I mean, you just have to look. I mean, look at the change. It's so obvious.
Well, what change? See, what is all this about? Well, Charlie, I want you to go with me to the doctor. What's the matter, Bergen? Is that old trouble coming back out? No. No, Charlie, it's you.
Me?
Yes, I'm going to find out exactly how you can carry all that mischief on your conscience.
Well, I'm building a new wing.
Yeah, I imagine you are.
I say, Charlie, Edgar's taking you to a psychiatrist.
Yeah?
Ray, will you accompany us?
Well, gladly, old boy. What are you going to sing?
No, I don't mean we're singing anything.
Oh, well, it's a shame to waste all this good music. Anita, will you join me?
Oh. I'll be glad to, Mr. Noble.
The stars will remember the night we said goodbye. The stars will remember, so will I. A rose as a token, a kiss that brought a sigh. The stars will remember, so will I. And now the stars and I, we share the lonely lane. But in my solitude, it seems I hear you call my name. The world may forget you as time goes passing by. The stars will remember, so will I. But in my solitude, it seems I hear you call my name. The world may forget you as time goes passing by. The stars will remember, so
The holiday spirit's in the air, so we think of good cheer and feasting. For instance,
Royal puddings. Rich, rich, rich with flavor. Smooth, smooth, smooth as silk. More food energy than sweet, fresh milk.
Royal!
More food energy than sweet, fresh milk.
yes, more food energy than sweet, fresh milk. That's the simple story of Royal puddings. Mothers know the magic in milk. It's rich in proteins, vitamins, minerals, food energy. And Royal puddings give even more, yes, even more food energy than the sweet, fresh milk you make them with. Give your children lots of milk and lots of Royal puddings. Children must have food energy for the running and jumping that helps develop better bodies. A big, delicious serving of Royal costs just a few cents. So try Royal puddings. Rich, delicious chocolate, smooth, creamy vanilla, mellow, golden butterscotch.
Royal puddings. Rich, rich, rich with flavor. Smooth, smooth, smooth as silk. More food energy than sweet, fresh milk.
Yes, this is the office of Dr. Horton. His hours are 7 to 1, 3 to 2, 9 to 5. Also track odds. Goodbye.
We're here to see Dr. Horton, the psychiatrist.
Well, do you want an appointment?
Yeah. What are you doing tonight, babe?
Well, if you think I'm going out with you, you're crazy.
Well, precisely why I'm here.
Oh, Dr. Horton.
Yes, I'm Dr. Horton.
Dr. Doctor, there are some patients to see you.
Patients to see me? There must be some mistake. Oh, dear. Oh, what am I saying?
You are Dr. Horton, the famous psychiatrist.
I am? Oh, of course, yes, of course I am, yes.
That's what I say, yes.
Yes.
Well, you see, Doctor, I came to see you.
Say no more. I know exactly what your trouble is.
Well,
you're a paranoiac with chronic neurosis.
No.
Too late. It's much too late.
I'm not even the patient. I'm not crazy.
That's what all my patients say.
Is that so? Well, I can pass any doctor's examination. Hey, Charlie?
You're darn right, Bergen. And I'll hold you up while you're taking it.
Yeah. But, Doctor, you understand, I don't need psychiatry.
Maybe not, but psychiatry needs you.
What?
I haven't had a patient in weeks.
Oh.
Now, tell me all about your hobbies, please. All about your hobbies, your actions, and how much do you have in the bank?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Hey, Doctor, did you study this stuff, or is it just a hobby with you?
No. I've studied. Yeah. Studied in Italy, Naples, Venice.
What about Florence?
Oh, Florence is married now. She has 8 children, too. 8 lovely children. There's Helen, there's Giovanni, there's Gismonda, there's Jacqueline.
I know, but Doctor, please.
Lovely children.
Yeah, I know. What we're here is because this boy, he doesn't remember what he does.
Not really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's serious, isn't it? Are you taking anything for it?
Yeah, Bergen's heating pad.
Young man, tell me, are you a schizophrenic?
Well, I have schizoed a little, yes.
That's very interesting indeed. I can see in your face that you're suffering excruciating pain.
Yeah.
Now, what is the trouble?
Well, you're standing on my foot, you dope.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a frog. Tell me, do you suffer? Do you suffer from headaches?
Well, I don't enjoy them, I'll say that.
Do you have a fear of high places?
Yeah, only when I get stuck with the check.
Doctor, I often have a desire to jump off high buildings. How can I be cured?
Well, just follow your desire. Now, young man, what depresses you most?
Well, people like you. See, what's the idea of asking all these silly questions?
It is my job. It's my job to draw people out of themselves.
Yeah, but can you poke them back in again?
Come, young man. Now, let's get ahead with the treatment.
Doctor, how long will Charlie have to come here for treatments?
Exactly 3 years.
3 years?
3.
Why so long?
Then my house will be paid for.
Now, just a moment. Isn't that beside the point?
Nothing of the kind. It's overlooking the bay.
No, I don't mean the house.
Now, let's get ahead, please. Yeah. Let's get ahead with the boy's examination.
Yeah, shall I take my shirt off?
Certainly not.
Well, I didn't mean...
I'm just going to examine your head.
Okay, shall I take off my head?
I don't think it's necessary. No, come now. Let's have a long talk. Go back to your childhood.
Oh, good. I'd like to go back to that old farm, the old days there, and the old swimming hole. Will you join me?
Oh, really? Thank you. But you wait till I get my water wings.
Sure, then.
Please. Tell me, as a baby, did you like people? Were you popular?
As a baby? I would say I traveled in a fast diaper set, yes. I was a beautiful bouncing baby.
Somebody must have bounced you on the wrong end. Perhaps you got into bad company. Tell me, who are your friends?
Anybody who will lend me money, pal.
What did you say, stranger? Oh. Now, let's see. Where'd I put it? My hammer. Where'd I put that hammer?
What are you going to do with a hammer?
I'm going to test your reflexes.
Huh?
Please, now, remove your hat.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Doctor. Aren't you supposed to tap his knee?
Why? Oh, it's knee, of course. Yes, that's what I say. Yes, of course. Cross your legs.
Yes, sir.
Now, here we go.
Ouch!
That will be $3 extra.
What for?
My hammer broke.
Oh.
Now, young man, here, please. I want you to sit in this chair, and I'm going to whirl you around to test your equilibrium.
No, that's pronounced equilibrium, Doctor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'll thank you to keep your little trap shut.
Yes, sir.
But I have a better idea, much better. I will give you the shock treatment.
Uh-huh.
Now, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Boom!
Bergen, get up off the floor. One of us is crazy, that's all.
Speaking of crazy things, I have a colleague.
Well, I prefer a Doberman Pinscher.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Dr. Twing?
If this is your colleague, you have the dog of the doctor.
Yeah. Friends, my name is Fido Ursel Twing, and I am a hypnotist, a mesmerist, and a just plain ist.
Are you an accredited hypnotist?
Oh, yes, indeed. He has a sheepskin.
I do not so. My face is just naturally fuzzy. But friends, hypnotism is really my meat.
Oh, it's meat, huh?
Well, no, it isn't exactly my meat either because I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, well, then it's your potatoes.
Pay attention. But I specialize in, friends, I specialize in trances, dozes, comas, and I also scalp tickets for the Rose Bowl.
Well, can you put me under a spell?
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh. That was very, very smart. I can make you say, I can make you say anything I want you to. That's hypnotism.
No, that's ventriloquism.
Well, go ahead, Doctor, quickly. Go ahead now. Mesmerize him.
All righty. I'll really mesmerize him up good, too. Now, let's start the treatment. Young man, look into my eyes.
Yeah, well, the treatment is worse than the ailment.
Now, please look at my eyes.
Well, I can't. They're looking at each other.
All right. I'll put you into a state of catalepsy daisy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Now, here we go. Concentrate. Mm-hmm. Are you concentrating?
Yeah.
All right. Repeat after me. I am drowsy. I am drowsy.
You are lousy. You are lousy. The guy is a faker.
You know, I believe you're right, young man. Absolutely right, and I'm ashamed to be associated with him.
I heard that remark, Dr. Horton. Yes, I did, and I'll have you know that I could hypnotize you with one eye tied behind me.
Dr. Twing, let me tell you, I've watched you around this office, and nothing but the law makes me keep my hands off you.
Yeah, nothing but the law makes you keep your hands off a lot of things, Smart.
Did you hear that?
Yes, you just come on outside, and I'll separate your Sarah from your bellium, if you'll
Is that so? Well, I'll go outside and I'll give you a good kick in your trance.
Oh!
Yes, you hear me? You heard that, isn't it? Yes. Now, this office is not big enough for the two of us.
No.
So, young man, you will have to decide which one of us doctors you want to treat you.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Well, which one of you has a diploma?
Oh. Well, that lets us both out. Oh.
Goodbye.
Charlie and Edgar will be back in just a moment. You know, people just can't remain calm about the latest thing in coffee. This newcomer from Chase and Sanborn is a sensational success. Yes, it's hats in the air everywhere for the new blend of Chase and Sanborn. It's the most satisfying coffee you ever tasted. So, taste it. Taste it now. There's no other way to find out how greatly this new blend is improved. The highest praise from your own best friend can't tell you as much as just one sip of this flavor in your cup. Suppose it is the most flavorful coffee money can buy today. The thrill comes when you taste it. So enjoy a new coffee experience. Its glorious flavor raised to an amazing new pitch of satisfaction. More flavor, ideally fresh, vacuum-packed as soon as it's roasted. Yes, the new Chase and Sanborn, with its lavish abundance of goodness multiplied in the blending, is quickly vacuum-sealed at its best and precious. No other container can give you so much flavor, so much freshness. Taste it. Now, right now, is the time to get improved Chase and Sanborn, the new coffee sensation.
Charlie, next Sunday we'll have a visit from the king of the cowboys. Oh, is the queen coming too? Maybe I ought to whip up a batch of royal pudding. Oh, it's good to see Roy Rogers again. Yeah. He's the roughest, ridingest cowboy that ever straddled a guitar. Good night, folks.
This week when you're buying groceries, ask for Chase and Sanborn coffee and royal puddings. This is Ken Carpenter speaking to you from Santa Monica, California.
Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, 76 years ago, November 30th, 1947, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll get on the bandwagon with Phil Harris and Alice Faye in just a moment.
Whenever you drive the car, there is always an unseen, unwelcome passenger with you. That passenger is danger. The danger of a traffic accident. Unfortunately, every person seems to have the absurd notion that he bears a charmed life, that no traffic accident can happen to him. But it can, and too often it does. So when you're behind that wheel, don't take chances. Obey all traffic rules. Drive safely for life, your life, and the lives of us.
Now we head back to the Fitch bandwagon with Phil Harris and Alice Faye from 76 years ago, November 30th, 1947.
Laugh a while, let a song be your style, use Fitch shampoo. Don't despair, use your head, save your hair, use Fitch
Soft, shining hair. That's what every girl wants. And that's the way your hair will be when you use Fitch's new cream shampoo. Fitch's cream shampoo leaves your hair dreamy soft, like moonlight, shining like bright starlight. That's because this marvelous new shampoo is made with two beneficial beauty aids, lanolin and olive oil. Lanolin is used to soften the hair, to give it a brand new look. Olive oil is used to bring out sparkling highlights, to leave your hair gleaming and lustrous. And girls, you'll find Fitch's cream shampoo delightfully easy to use. Just a small dab whipped into heaps of lather to thoroughly cleanse your hair and scalp. To rinse, just a swish of plain water and every bubble of suds is gone. Then see how soft and bright, how gloriously white this amazing shampoo leaves your hair. It looks as though it had been brushed and brushed and brushed. Fitch's cream shampoo is thrifty, too. Compare the size of the jar, compare its low cost, and buy it at drug or toilet goods counters. That's Fitch's cream shampoo, made with lanolin and olive oil for softer, shinier hair.
The F.W. Fitch Company, makers of Fitch Shampoo, presents the Fitch Bandwagon with Elliott Lewis, Porter Hall, Wally Mayer, Frank Nelson, Robert North, Walter Sharp in his music, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. This morning, the Harris children were flying a kite which got caught in the neighbor's telephone wire. As we look in, we find Phil climbing a tree to rescue the kite.
Hey, Alice, climbing this tree is tougher than I thought.
Careful, Tarzan. You're not as young as you used to be.
Never mind. I'll just grab this limb and lift myself right up.
Phil, what happened? What did you break?
I ain't sure, but if a branch doesn't come down, it was my arm.
That could have been my line. Phil, are you hurt?
No, I'm not hurt. I'm all right. Scratch my arm a little and rip my shirt. What a day this has been. I start to relax, and then I got to go climbing trees, ripping my clothes, hurting myself. My goodness. Well, thank heavens nothing else could possibly happen to me today.
Good morning, Philip.
I had to open my big fat mouth. Things ain't bad enough. Little Beaver just rode up.
Philip, how in the world did you get up in that tree?
How did I sat on it when it was an acorn and grew up with it. Now keep quiet a minute, Beaver. If I lean over, I can just about reach that telephone wire. There, I got it.
Look out, Phil. You're losing your balance.
Help, Alice, I'm falling.
Oh, Phil, are you all right? Tell me, are you hurt?
No, fortunately, I fell on top of Willie. I knew he'd come in handy someday. Hey, you okay, Willie?
Oh, I'm somewhat bruised, but otherwise I'm not hurt.
What did he say, Phil?
He hurt he's somewhat and bruised he's otherwise.
Oh, Phil, you're so clumsy.
Well, what are you kicking about? I got the kid's kite, didn't I? I got it right here in my hand and... Hey, wait a minute. What's this I got in my other hand?
Mr. Galen's telephone wire. You pulled it down with you.
Oh, no, Alice, no. Let's get in the house and hide before that crabby old neighbor finds out what happened. He's a mess, that guy.
Just a moment, Sid. If you can't run off and leave this broken wire lying here, your neighbor won't be able to get any calls.
Huh? You know something? You're right, Willie. Here, you stand here and hold the wires.
What am I going to do with them?
Stick them in your ears, and if a call comes through, take the message and give it to Galen. And believe me, you can do it. Come on, let's get in the house.
Oh, Phil, you'll have to go and tell Mr. Galen what you did.
All right, honey. I'll tell him later. Now, leave me alone. Why is everybody picking on me?
What's wrong with you, Philip? You've been awfully grouchy lately.
Well, last week the doctor told him to slow down, and now that he has time on his hands, he doesn't know what to do with himself.
Philip, what you need is a hobby.
Like what?
Well, why don't you become a philatelist?
What's a who's this?
A philatelist. That's stamp collecting.
Stamp collecting? You dear boy. That sounds like an exciting hobby. Next, you'll be telling me to take up crocheting.
Philip, that's an excellent suggestion. You can...
Hold it, Buster, hold it.
Oh, Phil, it's a wonderful form of relaxation. There's nothing wrong with a man crocheting. Lots of men do it.
Oh, fine. I can just see myself with the guys in the band knocking out a lace tablecloth with one hand and marking a racing form with the other.
Alice is right. Lots of men do crochet. I used to do it several years ago. I don't like to brag, but I became quite expert at it. And I did some very original needlework.
Thank you, Betsy Ross.
Oh, Phil, why don't you try it? Look, I'm crocheting a doily. Here, you take it, and I'll show you how to do it.
Oh, but Alice...
That's right. It's very simple. All you do is put the hook through this loop, catch the thread, and pull it through. See?
Oh, all right, I'll try it, but I ain't gonna like it. Pull the blinds down. This is the silliest thing that... Uh-oh, there's the doorbell. I'll get it. Hi, Curly. Oh, hiya, Frankie. Come on in. Okay, I just stopped... Curly, what do you got in your hand? This? Oh, it's my needlework. Wait a minute, I'll go out and come in again. Curly, this may seem like a stupid question, but what are you doing with that needlework? I'm crocheting a doily. Well, la-di-da! Look, will you stop already, Frankie? I'm just trying this for Alice's sake, and no cracks about my crocheting.
I'm not making any cracks.
All right. Now, come on inside. Well, don't stand there. Come on in. After you, madame. Don't be a wise guy. Let's go inside. I'm just doing this because Alice thought I needed a hobby. No offense, Curly. It just seems a little strange to... Oh, hello, Alice.
Hello, Frankie.
Hiya, Willie.
Good morning, Franklin.
Franklin? Somebody come in with me? Now, look, Alice, I'm not going to do no crocheting. It ain't for me.
All right. Maybe Frankie can suggest a hobby that will appeal to you.
Who, Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Franklin. Huh? You have a hobby? I used to have one. I took up painting. First I went out and bought a set of paint. Then I hired a beautiful model. Yeah? Then what? Then I threw away the paint.
Well, if you weren't painting, why the model?
Yeah, why the model? I demand the right to read a prepared statement. Hey, Curly, tell you, if you really want a hobby, why don't you go to that hobby shop in town? They got all kinds of stuff.
Well, you know, that's a good idea, Phil. I'm sure you'll be able to find something there. What do you think you'd like?
Well, the model idea sort of appealed to me.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Never mind that. Well, why don't you and Frankie go and look around the hobby shop?
Well, I think the whole thing is awful silly, but if it'll make you any happier, I'll go. Come on, Frank. Yeah.
Now, Phil, try to pick something that will stimulate your mind. Get an intellectual hobby.
Okay, intellectual. Whole thing is ridiculous. You get a little older and you have to go out and look for a hobby. Can't understand it. When I was a kid, I didn't have any trouble finding something to do in my spare time. I'd just get one of the gang and then I'd say, you get a line and I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line and I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line and I'll get a pole, and we'll go down to the crawdad hole, honey, baby mine. Yonder come a man with a sack on his back, honey. Yonder come a man with a sack on his back, babe. Yonder come a man with a sack on his back, got more crawdads than he can pack, honey, baby mine. That man fell down and busted his sack, honey. That man fell down and busted his sack, babe. That man fell down and busted his sack. Just watch him crawdads back and back, honey, baby mine. I sell my crawdads 3 for a dime, honey. I sell my crawdads 3 for a dime, babe. I sell my crawdads 3 for a dime. Ain't no crawdads as good as mine, honey, baby mine. What are you going to do when you lose your pole, honey? What are you going to do when you lose your pole, babe? What are you going to do when you lose your pole? Just sit and look down that crawdad hole, honey, baby mine. What are you going to do when the creek goes dry, honey? What are you going to do when the creek goes dry, babe? What are you going to do when the creek goes dry? Just sit and watch them crawdads die, honey, baby mine. Well, get up, Kate, you slept too late, honey. Get up, Kate, you slept too late, babe. Get up, Kate, you slept too late. That crawdad man to pass your gate, honey, baby mine. Hey! Shirley, they got a lot of stuff in this hobby shop. You ought to be able to find something here. Well, I don't even know what to ask the guy for. It seems so silly. I feel like a dope telling him to try to find me a hobby. He don't have to know it's for you. Tell him he's getting it for somebody else. Come on, we'll ask the clerk. Hey, Bud, come here, man.
How do you do? And what can I do for you two? People?
Say, look, we're looking for a hobby for somebody. Do you have anything intellectual?
Well, we have them as intellectual as you want. We have things for the highest mentality. What's your friend's occupation?
He's a band leader.
Well, we have something for the lower mentalities, too. Perhaps I've heard of your friend. What's his name?
Phil Harris.
Oh, we really hit rock bottom, didn't we?
Just a minute. Don't you say nothing about Phil Harris in front of me.
Well,
you got a lot of nerve saying that Phil Harris has a low mentality. Did you ever meet him?
No.
Then how'd you find out about his low mentality? Have you been in here before, Curly? No, I can't understand how the guy found out about... Wait a minute. Now, look, Bob, I ain't got no time to waste. What kind of hobbies have you got?
Well, we have wood-burning sets, clay modeling sets, model airplane kits, and there's something here that you'll love.
What is it?
A genuine nylon butterfly catching set.
Okay, Frankie, let's blow. Let's get out of this. Now, wait a minute, Curly. Always stopping a minute. I ain't going to stay in here and be responsible. Let's get out of here.
Now, listen to me, kid.
I think you ought to buy one of those. I ought to buy one. Absolutely. A man's a fool to be without a genuine nylon butterfly catcher set. You get behind the counter with him. Let's go. I'm sorry, Bub. You ain't got nothing here I want.
Now, wait a minute. I have something here. It isn't exactly a hobby. It's more of a gadget. I made it myself out of a razor blade, a piece of sandpaper, and an old windshield wiper.
What is it?
A face scraper for sloppy bubblegum blowers.
Hey, get me one. Better leave, Frank. We better get out of here. I ain't gonna... Hey, Curly, look. There's something for you. Instead of electric trains. Why don't you get those? Oh, please, will you quiet down? Electric trains, that's for children.
You're right. If I were you, I'd take the nylon butterfly catching.
No. Look, Curly, it's a beautiful set of trains. All right, cut it out. Cut it out, both of you. You guys ain't talking me into anything. Now, I'm not buying no electric trains or anything else here, and that's final.
Hello, Phil. Well, find something you like at the hobby shop?
No.
Well, then, what have you got in that box under your arm?
Electric train?
What's in that box under your other arm?
genuine nylon butterfly catching set.
Well, that sounds like an interesting combination. Well, what's that small package in your pocket?
Oh, that's nothing at all.
What is it?
A face scraper for a sloppy bubble glum.
Blubbles, Blum? Oh. It's good for blowing blubbles, huh? Where's Frankie?
He's out in the car, and he's bringing in the rest of the package.
Well, this here is the last box of stuff,
Curly, hello, Alice.
Hey, where did you see the electric train set me and Curly bought? Come on in the living room. We'll put the tracks up.
All these large boxes. I hope you fellas didn't get one of those great big trains.
Oh, no. This is just a simple little set with a few tracks. I'll show you. I'll dump the tracks out on the floor. Well, that's the first box. You see, Alice, this is... Hey, Alice, where are you?
Right here in the back of this pile of tracks.
Oh.
Did you fellas say you have more tracks?
Oh, just 4 more boxes. Well, come on, Curly. Let's get down on our knees and start putting the tracks together. Hey, Alice, you can help us, too. It'll be fun.
Thanks.
Well, we did it. The tracks are all down. Yep.
Yeah, and it only took 2 hours.
Yep. Now to get the trains going. I'll hook up the wires, Curly. This one goes to the transformer.
Now, wait a minute. Wait. Hold it just a minute. Now, I want to ask you one question. What? Are you sure you know what you're doing, Frankie?
Of course I do. If there's one thing I know, it's electricity. My nephew got a set of trains. I always hook his up for him. Yeah, wires are hooked. Go on, just turn the switch on, Curly.
Okay. Now you did it. You blew out the transformer.
That's funny. The same thing always happens to my nephew's set.
Oh, Remley, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You broke my electric train.
Yes, Frankie, you went and broke Filthy's woody choo-choo twine.
Thank you, one-armed baby Snook. I can't understand it. You're always doing something like that. Now, we spent all that time putting the tracks down, and now we got no transformer, and Hey, wait a minute, huh? Hey, you know, Mr. Galen next door's got a great big train set in his cellar. I can borrow his transformer.
Mr. Galen? Oh, for goodness sakes, Bill. We forgot to tell him about your pulling his telephone wire down.
Well, what? I'll tell him when I go in to borrow his transformer. Hey, come on, Frankie.
Yeah, okay, Bill.
Oh, what a man. I guess I'm lucky he only brought home a train set as a hobby. He might have decided to collect antique cars. I could just see him breezing into the house and saying, get your veil and get your duster. Get the yen for goggles when the wind's a guster. Keep your hubber gown firmly belted down when you're out in your Stanley steamer. In a gale we never fluster, 'cause we're told we get that old familiar luster. If you're dressed in style, everyone will smile when you're out in your Stanley steamer. Honk, 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 honk. The dog seems to have his time, but he's looking at us with alarm, for it looks like he's back to the farm. But if you stay with your combustion, then your speed is gonna need a new adjuster, and you must be just the one you trust, or we won't let you ride, no, we won't let you ride. That you plan in your Stanley steamer, that you plan in your Stanley steamer. The tandem biker's had its day. If you're riding one, you'll find that they poke along in an obsolete way. They're full of brag, anticipation. I'm the child who has a wild imagination, and we wanna ride inside of the latest motor vehicle. Wanna sit behind the wheel with a man in the family steamer. With a man in the family steamer. In your family steamer, oh, Bobby.
Why can't we come down here? Old Grouch wouldn't lend it to us. Slammed the door in our face even before you could tell him you pulled down his telephone wire. Hey, Frankie. Huh? Now, you see that little thing over in the corner? That's the transformer. Oh, yeah. Now, wait a minute. Now, just grab it and let's beat it. No, not so fast. Get it all the way upstairs and it won't work. Let's test it first and see if it works. I'll put the plug in, and you attach that wire here and the other one over there. Wait a minute, Pluggy. Wait a minute. Now, just 1 second. Doesn't this little wire go here? Please, Curly, will you do it my way? All right. Everybody stand back. Here we go again. All right, there they are. The wires are hooked up. Good, you're a good man. All right. Turn the switch on, Curly. Now we'll try it your way, Curly. See what I told you? Now you've blown out the transformer again. Now we can't do nothing. Hey, wait a minute. Look at that smoke. I smell smoke. Look at why. Hey, Curly, look. Those wires are smoking. Oh. And we started a fire. Stamp on those wires. Stamp on them. Stamp it down. Okay, I'll get hold. All right. Well, thank goodness we got the fire out. Yeah, the place is full of smoke. Who's down there in my cellar, right? What's all this smoke from? Hey, I see you two through the smoke. Who are you? The Smith brothers. Have a cough drop? You've set my cellar on fire. I'll take care of you two, whoever you are, as soon as I call the fire department. Well, thank you. We better get out of here. Let's go, Spade. Okay, Mark. Devastating. Why, who could have started a fire in Mr. Galen's cellar?
I didn't say cellar. How did you know?
Well, that's a well-put question. I wish you'd put it back where you got it from. The fire department will be here in any minute now. Oh, hello, Harris. Hi, neighbor. What's new over at your house? Well, my house is on fire. It's smoking like the dickens. What are you getting so excited about? It ain't much of a fire. It is, too. It is not. Yeah, I say it is. It is not, and we ought to know because we started it. Pay no attention to Frankie, Mr. Gallen. He's been brushing his teeth with gunpowder, and he keeps shooting off his mouth. So you're the two I saw in my cellar. Well, I ought to have you both arrested. You're a very nasty man. I don't blame Curly for pulling down your telephone wire. Frankie, shut up! Now, what's this about you two fellas starting a fire in this man's cellar? It was an accident, officer, just a little accident. We went to borrow his transformer. Don't be embarrassed. Well, we went to borrow his transformer so we could run my electric train. Electric train? Ain't you a little old for that sort of stuff? You better come along with me, Bud. That's right, officer. Arrest me. All right. I'll go quietly. Go on, sir. I never should have gone out to get a hobby. I should have stuck to my crocheting. Do you crochet? Well, that's my hobby, too. Oh, really? I'd love to crochet. And I've made some very nice pieces, too. Officer, are you quiet? Quiet. Tell me, have you crocheted anything lately? Well, I was just working on this little doily here. How do you like it? Well, let me see it. Say, this ain't bad at all. I think you made a mistake here, though. Yeah, I suggest that you... Officer, I demand that... Shut up or I'll run you in. Now, as I was saying, Mr. Harris, you should have done it this way. Now, here, I'll show you. First, you take the needle like this, see? And then you run the thread through this way. Oh, yeah. You mean underneath that? Like that? Oh, you silly. I was using a number 16 needle. Well, that's going to be all right. I
guess we better leave these two alone.
Oh, okay.
Is your shampoo doing right by you? Yes, is your shampoo doing right by you?
My shampoo lathers all right.
Be free of unsightly dandruff. Be free of invisible irritating dandruff. Yes, be free of all embarrassing dandruff.
Fitch is the only shampoo whose guarantee to remove dandruff with first application is backed by one of the world's largest insurance firms.
So, switch to Fitch. At drug counters, barber, and beauty shops, ask for Fitch's Dandruff Remover Shampoo. Fitch Shampoo does right by you.
Now, you see, Mr. Harris, you must follow through on this stitch this way. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean now. You see, I pull the thread through, and then I bring it through from the other side. That's right.
Well,
now
I'm
you
so
got
happy,
it.
see, because I want to crochet a
course.
stitch.
Alice Faye and Phil Harris. This program was written by...
Well, it didn't sound particularly great audio-wise, but it was a lot of fun hearing an early Phil Harris, Alice Faye show on the Fitch bandwagon 76 years ago, November 30th, 1947. There is a secret word upcoming on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The secret word is messages.
Our religious institutions are strongholds of the American way of life. Our country was founded by men who had faith in God and who were willing to endure hardship and sacrifice for the sake of that faith. Today, the religious institutions in your community need your interest and support, so take an active part in religious affairs. Your pastor, rabbi, or priest will give you invaluable family counsel and aid if you are a newcomer to the community. To face the problems of the future, America must be morally strong. And that moral strength comes through worship and faith. Go to church this week and take someone with you.
And we'll close out this week of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with drama, crime drama mostly, New Adventures of Nero Wolfe starring Sidney Greenstreet, Dragnet, an episode of Suspense, Lights Out, and I said mostly because we're going to hear another episode of our friends in Pine Ridge, Lum and Abner, and the story of Pinky Winky. That library's getting to be a mess. Right now, let's head to Groucho Marx, You Bet Your Life. This goes back 74 years, November 30th, 1949. Mr. Fenneman, would you fill us in on the word, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is window. W-I-N-D-O-W.
Really?
You bet your life! Elgin American, creator of America's most beautiful compact, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, finest dresser sets, presents Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only... Groucho!
Nice fellow, known him for years. Hey, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. George Fanneman, who gets first whack at it?
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a bachelor and a spinster, and here they are. Mr. Stuart Bowles and Miss Henrietta Adair meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector that retails for $129.50. Mr. Stuart Bowles. What sort of work do you do, Stu?
I'm in the investment department of E.F. Hutton and Company, and Mr. Marx's year is the 50th anniversary of the L.A. Exchange.
Is that so?
Yes, sir.
That's your job, huh? You're an investment broker, huh?
That's right, sir.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you wanted to be when you were a boy?
Oh, no, I never thought I'd be that.
Well, no, you're grieving about it. Miss Henrietta Adair, huh? You're the spinster?
Well, if you mean, am I married? Yes, I am.
Don't you like being called a spinster?
Well, I prefer unmarried.
Okay, unmarried. Where are you from?
Houston, Texas.
You're from Houston? How long have you been a spinster? I mean, unmarried.
That's sort of a difficult question to answer, Mr. Marx.
Well, it wasn't an easy question to ask, either. Well, I'll try to make it easier. At what age does a girl become a spinster? Not you, I mean, any girl.
Oh, around 30. About 30.
And how long has it been since you were 30?
You're just trying to find out how old I am, Mr. Marx.
Well, that's the general idea, yeah. Mr. Stewart, how old are you?
Oh, I'm about the same age she is.
Well, you're a pretty cagey pair. Now, George has the perfect gifts from our sponsor.
For Miss Adair, this lovely engraved dresser set by Elgin American. It's finished in rich silver, the finishing touch for your dresser.
Beautiful, and I don't have one.
For Mr. Bowles, Elgin American's popular cigarette case with today's smart leather-like look.
Now, Stu, why haven't you married, huh? A young, jovial-looking fellow like you?
Well, I guess it's the old saying, he travels fastest who travels alone.
I see. Well, what's your hurry, huh? Do you know, Henrietta, do you know any little proverbs that would put Speedy here in his place?
Well, a stitch in time saves 9.
You mean he's coming apart at the seams? I think she's just giving you the needle here, Stu. Henrietta, getting back to the subject of romance, why is it you haven't married?
Well, I suppose I just didn't take advantage of my opportunities.
Well, I think opportunity is knocking right now. On the other hand, it might be his knees knocking down. Well, tell me, Lightning, what qualifications are you looking for in a wife?
Well, I'd like her to be attractive and thoughtful, economical and considerate.
That doesn't sound like too much. Would you say you're economical, Henrietta?
I think I am.
Well, according to him, that only means how many miles you get to a gallon. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to work together as a team for $1,000. But right now, here's some advice you both will benefit by.
The gift of a compact is very, very good. But a compact set is better. Elgin American makes them best. It's the gift you ought to get her. Compact, lighter, and cigarette case, designed to go together, are the smartest accessories you could give. And impress her, will they ever?
Now there's a wonderful Christmas gift idea. An Elgin American compact with cigarette case, lighter, or both, designed to go together will thrill any woman. Make her look so fashionable with matching accessories. They're exquisitely styled, finished, and crafted in the Elgin American manner. And they're real values from $9.95. $6.95 for American Beauty companion sets. Come in sterling silver, too. Tomorrow, buy an impressive compact set with matching cigarette case, lighter, or both to make that special woman specially happy this Christmas. A first in fashion, first in value compact set by Elgin American.
Now then, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 question. You're going to play You Bet Your Life on them and bring them up to date on the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want in each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected famous racetracks as your category, right? Now, here's your first question. How much will you bet? You have $20.
$5.
$5. In what state is Bay Meadows Racetrack? California is right.
They're on their way with $25.
Remember, this is just chicken feed. You're going for $1,000 tonight, and that's the big prize. Now, how much of the 25 will you try?
15. 15.
15. In what state is Hialeah Racetrack?
Florida.
Florida's correct.
They're climbing. They have $40.
All right, you're climbing. You got $40. Here's your third question. How much of the 40 are you going to try?
30.
$30. Where is the Saratoga Racetrack?
New York.
New York is right.
They're really on their way now. They have $70.
How much of the 70 are you going to try?
50.
$50. In what state is Churchill Downs Racetrack?
Kentucky.
In old Kentucky. And they wind up with $120. Henrietta, you did fine. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, don't wander off. You're still in the running for the big prize.
Groucho, the secret word is still window.
It is, George.
Yes, and perhaps the next couple will say it. We asked if there were any salesmen here tonight, and just before we went on the air, the studio audience elected Mr. Paul Chalfont, and for his partner, Mrs. Jean Reynolds, a housewife. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins the 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Jean Reynolds, that's right?
Yes, sir.
What does your husband do, Jean?
He's a real estate salesman.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
Right in the heart of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any children?
Yes, I have, too.
You have two? Well, how many do you have? How did you meet your husband?
I met him at a wedding.
At a wedding?
Yes, sir.
Yours?
No, it wasn't mine. We were dancing. And I was dancing with this fellow, and we were very close to the orchestra. And he tried to do some of these fancy stunts. And he swung me, and before I knew it, I fell right in the drum. The fellow said, well, hurry up and get out of my drum so I can see what damage you've done.
What did he say? I got you under my skin?
Well, I was so embarrassed, and I said, just take my name and address, and I'll be glad to compensate for it. So he kept coming over my house, and he never got any money. And finally, he forgot all about his drum, and I figured it would be cheaper to marry the guy than buy him a new drum.
Salesman, Chalfont, is that right?
That's right, sir.
What do you sell?
I sell washing machines and irons.
Are you a traveling salesman?
I'm a salesman, but not a traveling salesman.
I see. Well, that's logical. I do some farming, but I'm not what you'd call a farmer's daughter. Who do you work for?
I work for Thor Corporation.
Is that so? Now, what are they Thor?
No.
Now, let's cut out the baby talk. Who do you work for?
Thor, Thor, Thor Corporation.
Oh, I see. Would you like to send one of your machines over? I'd like to rinse out that spot announcement you just made. Tell me, Soapsuds, how is the washing machine? How is the washing machine game or business?
Well, we are cleaning up.
I bet you've used that one before, huh?
Yes, honestly, I have.
Mm-hmm. Salesmen always tell little jokes like that, don't they? You have any other little yaks that you spring on the customer?
Well, there's another one I usually break the ice with, and that's about the couple that were in the iron and steel business. She ironed and he steals, you know.
Well, that must break the ice right over your head, that one. Are you sure that joke didn't go through your washing machine? At least through the ringer?
It's clean anyway.
Hey, he's got a pretty good line at that this time. Does anything exciting ever happen to you, Mr. Chalfont?
Well,
pretty fancy pronunciation. I think that means salami in French. Anything exciting ever happened to you,
yes,
Paul D. Saloon?
I had a rather exciting experience here last week.
You did?
Boss and I returned from a fishing trip. We returned home and he found out he'd lost his keys, so he decided I would be the one to crawl through the window.
Well, Paul, you said window, and that's the secret word. George, tell him what he wins.
A 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. Now you can show regular Hollywood sound movies or movies you take yourself. It sells for $129.50.
All right, you stuck your foot through the window. Now pull it out and let's get back to business, huh?
Well, I got in, but I also found out the missus, wouldn't answer the door.
Who's missus?
The boss's wife. And after I got inside, I found out that he put me through the bathroom window, and the reason why she hadn't come to the door that she was taking a shower.
Well, Well, she should have stayed in that Thor washing machine. Well, you're an interesting and amiable couple, and we're happy to have you here. Now, we have some ideal gifts from our sponsor.
For Mrs. Reynolds, pearls for you. Elgin American's beautiful simulated pearls. They're the finest pearls made by man. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Thank you. They're exquisite.
And for Mr. Chalfont, this
Chalfont.
For Mr. Paul, this slim, sleek, sterling silver cigarette case by Elgin American, handsomely engraved as you'll notice. How do you like it?
Wonderful.
Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for $1,000. Run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get the chance at the big question later. Fenneman's offstage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The bachelor and the spinster won $120.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Presidents of the United States as your category. Now, here's your first question. You've got $20. How much you going to try?
$10.
$10. What was the name of the president who in 1919 tried to lay the foundation for everlasting peace?
Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson is right.
And they're off to a good start with $30.
Woodrow Wilson, sometimes known as Alexander Knox. You now have $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight, and that's the big prize. How much of the 30 are you going to try?
$20.
Okay. What was the name of the president who drafted the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson is right.
They now have $50.
You should have known that, Mrs. Reynolds. There's a street in Chicago named Jefferson, isn't there? All right, you've got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to crack?
$40.
$40. What was the name of Lincoln's successor? He was the only president to be impeached.
Johnson. Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson is correct.
They're really on their way now. They have $90.
Andrew Johnson was one-time heavyweight champion of the world. All right, you've got $90. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90 are you going to go for? And no coaching.
$70.
$70. What was the name of the vigorous president who was a hero in the Spanish-American Wars, head of the Rough Riders?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt is right.
And they wind up with $160.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we know who gets the $1,000 question. What an auctioneer item, eh? But right now, listen to this.
Oh, I forgot my lighter.
Here, take mine. My wife's always borrowing it, too, so I'm giving her one for Christmas.
Say, that's a beauty. What kind is it?
Elgin American's new Socialite.
Yes, everybody goes for Elgin American's terrific new lighters, and they make terrific Christmas gifts. So beautifully designed and finished, they look like jewelry, and they work like magic. Have a magic action double catch that's new, different, safe, and the most modern surefire mechanism ever made. Yet these last word Elgin American lighters for men and women are priced from just $4.95. Table models from $9.95. Values beyond compare. Tomorrow, buy these very finest lighters for every smoker on your Christmas list and give them the light of their lives. Socialite lighters by Elgin American.
All right, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money and get the chance at the $1,000 question. George, who's leading at this point?
Well, the salesman and the housewife are leading with $160. Our final couple doesn't know the secret word is window because they've been in a waiting room off stage. We invited some people with unusual occupations to be at the show tonight, and our judges selected these two to be on the program. And here they are, Mr. A. Eugene Mosher, an explorer, and Mr. Joseph May, a lighthouse keeper. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins an Apollo Sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Joseph May, you're the lighthouse keeper?
Yes, sir.
You're a cute little rascal. Where you from, Joe?
I'm from Carnarvon.
Carnarvon?
Yes, sir.
Where is that?
Northern Wales.
In Northern Wales, huh? Yes. Can you speak Welsh?
No.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're married, why are you doing light housekeeping?
Well, the wife, she does the light housekeeping, and I just look after the light in the lighthouse.
Oh. Now, how'd you meet your wife, Joseph?
I met her in Raymond, Washington, in a skating rink. She bumped into me, I think.
You're not sure, huh?
I am now, yes.
Just where is your lighthouse?
Point Vincenti.
Where's that?
It's located so that it protects the entrance going into Los Angeles Harbor.
Now, why does the harbor need protection? I thought it was the ships that needed protection.
Well, we protect the ships as well.
You don't care about the harbor anymore now. My, but you're fickle, Joe. Suppose your light can't be seen. How do you warn ships?
We have a fogo when we start up.
And suppose that fails.
We have a standby fog signal that's operated by a gas engine.
And suppose that fails.
We're out of commission.
And how much commission do you get? Mr. Mosier, is that the way you pronounce it?
Mosier.
Mosier, huh? Where are you from? You're the explorer, huh? Where are you from originally?
Alexander, Virginia.
And where have you been?
Where haven't I been?
No, I asked you first now. Where have you been?
About every country in the world, every place.
It's hard to believe. You mean there isn't a single place you haven't been?
That's right, there isn't a single place I haven't been.
How about the ladies' lounge at the Union Station? What do you say to that? Huh?
Oh, you got me there.
Well, if I have, I'm going to get out of there, too. How long have you been exploring?
Oh, exploring, adventuring, about 31 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the most interesting place you've ever been?
Tibet.
Tibet?
That's
What
right.
time did you go to Tibet? Do you remember?
Oh, get along.
Tell me, how did you become an explorer? Did you get lost in a revolving door when you were a boy? Huh?
Oh, I guess it was born in me. My godfather is Aloysius T. Smith, and better known as Trader Horn.
How did it happen he was your godfather?
Well, he happened
Did he get you in a trade or something?
No, he happened to be down in Virginia when I was born, and he's a very good friend of my father, so my father named me Aloysius Eugene Francis Xavier Joan of Arc Vincent Iris Patrick Moser.
No wonder you keep traveling, huh? By the time you register in a hotel, it's time to get up in the morning. Have you any odd experiences that you'd care to relate?
Well, I guess the biggest adventure was when I almost got married in Arabia.
Oh, that'd be an adventure anywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Who to?
Oh, 6 Arabian girls.
Cheaper by the dozen, eh?
You see, I went down there and saved some girl from some bandits or something. She took me home and introduced me to harem. And I liked the looks of them, what I could see of them. And I asked each one to marry me. And there was a law that you couldn't look under the veil before you married them. So I lifted up the veil and they threw me out.
Did the 6 of them throw you out, or one at a time, huh?
Couple guards.
Whole thing sounds pretty harem-scaring to me. Well, tell me, Itchy Feet, what was your most exciting experience besides the Arabian debacle?
I guess it happened when I was on the Saratoga. Good old ship that couldn't go down. And was on there, and Admiral Halsey was then captain, and Admiral Mitchell was executive officer. And I walked down the deck with my mind on some blonde over in Long Beach. Might have been a redhead. I didn't see the executive officer and didn't salute him. He jumped me. He said, Mosier, you salute an officer when you see one? I said, yes, sir. My mind's on a blonde over in Long Beach. He says, up, go put yourself on report. I figure out, well, if I got on report, I couldn't go over to Long Beach to see that girl. So I just didn't put myself on report.
Did the Saratoga always cruise around Long Beach?
A good share of the time.
No wonder they couldn't sink it.
Comes Captain Mass, and the captain sent for me, Halsey. He says to me, he says, Commander Mitchell, say, put yourself on report. I said, yes, sir. He said, well, why didn't you do it? I said, I just reconsidered the matter and decided to give myself another chance. He let me go.
Well, you're certainly a good sailor, all right. Now, tell me, Bub Snatcher, who owns your lighthouse? Is it a government housing project?
No, it's one of the facilities of the United States Coast Guard.
Oh. Well, what are some of the other Coast Guard services?
Well, there's a lifeboat station and sea and air rescue, weather patrol, ice patrol, and things like that. Mm-hmm. The Coast Guard is putting out an opportunity now for single young men between the ages of 17 and 22. They have a chance to go through the Coast Guard Academy.
You lost me by a half a century. Huh? Now, how high is your lighthouse?
194 feet above mean low tide.
Well, how do you get upstairs? Do you float up on the tide?
No, we have 72 stairs. Steps.
72 steps?
Yeah.
How do you know there are 72 steps?
Well, I've counted them every day.
You still doubt it, huh? Well, why do you count them every day, Joe? Is that all there is to do then?
No, we have other things to do, such as...
I know where you can get 6 Arab girls. By now, maybe you can get them without the veils. Is that all you do, count the steps?
No, we have the maintenance of the station to do, the machinery to keep up, books to take care of.
What do you mean books to take care of?
Well, the bookwork, I mean.
Well, what kind of bookwork?
Well, there's all different kind. You know what bookwork there is to do in a government. The government couldn't keep
income tax, I know, but I didn't... What do you do? Do you count every wave that comes in or something? And then you count the undertow on the way out again? And send the whole thing to Washington? They tear it up and raise the taxes. Huh? Now, it's most instructive having you both there. I learned a lot. I learned that there were 72 steps in a lighthouse. And I learned that you mustn't lift a veil on an Arabian beauty. Huh? Now, before we proceed, George, is your ideal gift from our sponsor.
For Mr. Joseph May, the lighthouse keeper, Elgin American's Smart Compact with a new curved square shape and the unusual two-tone engraving. His wife will love it.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Marx.
Why, it's a pleasure to give it to you, Mr. May.
For the Explorer, Elgin American's popular cigarette case with a rich green leather look, something he'll be proud to show off in all his travels.
Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $1,000. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The salesman and the housewife are ahead with $160.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected leaders in our government as your category. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Here's your first question. You have $20. How much will you bet?
$10.
Who is the Secretary of State?
Dean Acheson.
Dean Acheson is correct.
They're on their way with $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. You've got $30. How much will you bet?
$20.
$20. Who is the Attorney General?
Tom McGrath.
J. Howard McGrath, but that's close enough. You got the last name, so you win that.
They're climbing. They have $50.
They're climbing. You got $50. Here's your third question. Are you ready? How much you going to bet?
40.
40? He doesn't even ask, the lighthouse keeper. He's the captain of this scow, all right. $40. Who is the director of the Mint?
The director of the Mint is Cruz. Snyder is Interior. You got me up there.
I'm sorry, it's Nellie Taylor Ross. That's a pretty tough one, though.
They now have $10.
Well, you've got $10, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 10 are you going to try?
$10.
Who heads the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover is right.
And they wind up with $20. And that means the salesman and the housewife, with $160, get the chance at the $1,000 question. And now, a word from Myron Wallace.
Elgin American simulated pearls in a handsome satin-lined jewel box of gold-like jeweler's bronze. Ah, gentlemen, there's a gift to thrill her soul. A gift to make you seem the most wonderful man in her world. Yet this bountiful, beautiful gift is easy to give. Lustrous, glowing Elgin American pearls in the luxurious jewel box start at only $10. Others up to $20. Buy them for her tomorrow. Elgin American simulated pearls.
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the housewife and the salesman.
Ready to try for $1,000, eh? Good luck, and I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly and no help in the audience, please. The Republic of Liberia is patent in government after the United States. They even honored one of our presidents by naming their capital city after him. What is the capital city of Liberia? Mr. Chalfont, as the Speaker of the House here, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Lincoln?
No, I'm sorry. It's Monrovia after President Monroe. I'm sorry. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $160 in cash, and you received those lovely gifts from Elgin American. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you. Thank you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production. Transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Remember, next week's big question pays $1,500. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. Presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, and finest dresser sets. Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately? Now, don't tone the dial. Bing Crosby's next, you know. And then comes Burns and Allen. Good night.
Yes, before DeSoto came around and sponsored the show, You Bet Your Life was sponsored by Elgin American, a watch company, and all sorts of stuff out of Elgin, Illinois, believe it or not. We had for a long time a radio station that carried our program there. From November 30th, 1949, 74 years ago, You Bet Your Life here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, crime drama, The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, Dragnet, Suspense, Lights Out, and Lum and Abner. But right now, we'll check in with Claudia and David. But first...
Our country was founded by men who had faith in God and who were willing to endure hardship and sacrifice for the sake of that faith. In these troubled times, there is need to support a way of life based on the enduring principles of religion, which knit the family together, make for good citizenship, and build the character of the children. The religious institutions in your community need your interest and support, so take an active part in religious affairs. Your pastor, rabbi, or priest will give you invaluable family counsel and aid if you're a newcomer to the community. To face the problems of the future, America must be morally strong. And that moral strength comes through worship and faith. Go to church this week and take someone with you.
And we wrap up this Thursday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of Claudia, the Coca-Cola sponsored soap opera, originally broadcast 78 years ago today, November 30th, 1948, as we move to the second season of the show 75 years ago.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Number 45 East. Number 45. Well, should be right down this street on the left, Mama.
Oh, Claudia, I should never have let you come.
Why, for heaven's sakes, Mama?
I don't like this business.
Oh, honestly, Mama, you make it sound as if I were doing something wrong.
Stealing into New York without David's knowledge to beg for a Great Dane from two strangers. That doesn't sound like an everyday occurrence to me.
Where is your wild spirit of adventure, Mama?
I'm not going to waste my wild spirit of adventure on this sort of
And
thing.
in the second place, Betty and George Pringle are not strangers.
To my mind, strangers are people whom you don't know personally.
Well, I feel as if I know the Pringles very personally. Well, I listen to them every morning on the radio. What they eat, what they do, where they go, what they see, what they like. So they're not strangers to me.
You've never met them. That's that.
And as for David not knowing, well, what's the use in telling him till I pass muster?
Pass muster?
Sure.
Claudia, are you sure you've told me everything?
Yup, I'm sure. I told you that George and Betty Pringle are going to interview me to find out whether we have a satisfactory home for the Great Dane they're trying to place. Oh, they won't let him go into just any home.
If it's a good enough home for me, and a good enough home for David, and a good enough home for your son, it better be good enough for a Great Dane.
Well, I hope so. A Great Dane is something special.
Besides, the farm's already good enough for Bluff. He's very much of a Great Dane.
Yeah, I know. Bluff's my biggest asset. Oh, I'm sure when I tell the Pringles that we live on a farm and that we already have one Great Dane, oh, they'll certainly give him to me, Mama.
Either that or they think you're mad.
You know, maybe he'll be a her. That'd be nice, especially since Bluff's a he.
Oh, dear. I can just see the farm overrun with a litter of small Danes.
Wouldn't it be lovely?
Unfortunately, Danes are never small.
Yeah, that's what's so nice about them. Makes them a man's dog.
I should never have let you come.
Now listen to me, Mama. Now you listen to me. Yesterday, when David and I heard the Pringles talking about that Dane on their radio program, I looked at David and Mama, he wants that Dane. He may not know it, but he wants that Dane.
Poor David. He gets blamed for everything you want.
Dogs shouldn't be single any more than people. David knows that. And that's why he wants the Dane. Oh, number 45. Well, here we are.
Here's where I leave you.
You'll be sorry.
Never.
Don't you want to, really?
No, thank you. Besides, I promised Aunt Louisa I'd be over at 10:30, and it's past that now.
Stubborn, that's what you are.
I'll get it from you.
Say, Mama.
What now?
Watch the lights before you cross.
Look who's telling who.
Well, I'll call you at Aunt Louisa's later. Cross your fingers, Mama.
They've been crossed ever since you proposed this wild scheme to me last night, but for private reasons.
You know, I think you're taking your responsibilities as a mother much too seriously.
You're right. So goodbye.
Goodbye.
I've got it, George. Hello there.
Hello, I'm Claudia Norton. Hello, Mrs. Pringle.
Oh, come right in, why don't you?
Well, I'm here about the Dane you're giving away.
I knew it right off.
You did?
Mm-hmm. You had that look.
For heaven's sakes. Have many people been here before me?
Just one.
Oh.
Oh, don't look so worried. They didn't get the Dane.
Oh, what a relief.
They lived in a 2-room apartment right here in town. No place for a Dane.
I know what you
mean.
mean.
Too bad, too. He was a nice little boy.
Well, little boys should have dogs, shouldn't they?
Hello there. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Pringle.
George, this is Mrs. Norton.
Oh, I see. About the Dane. Huh?
About the Dane.
I feel as if I were being interviewed for a job.
Well, in a way you are.
Before we talk business, I think I ought to tell you that I like you on the radio very much.
Well, how nice of you. Thank you.
I listen after my husband leaves for the office.
Most wives do.
Well, it's not his fault. You see, we live in Connecticut, and he leaves early.
Oh.
You live in the country?
It's not his fault.
Yeah, on a farm. It's perfect for Danes.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's perfect. The one we have, he likes it very much.
Oh, so you have a Dane already, have
yes,
you?
we have.
They have a Dane already, Betty.
I heard her, George.
Oh, but please, don't think because I have one that I don't deserve another.
Deserve?
You see, I don't think it's fair to have only one Dane. Do you?
Well, that depends on whom you have in mind, the Dane or yourself.
Well, both.
Oh, I see. Have you any other animals?
Oh, yeah. Cow, a rooster, pig, and a cat, of course.
Well, quite a menagerie.
Well, it's more of a farm, really. At least the beginning of one.
A cow and a pig and a rooster and a cat and a Dane. No children?
Oh, of course. Just one. The beginning, too.
It's It's quite a little household you're running without another Dane, Mrs.
We've just
Norton.
been craving for another one, but, well, as you know, their upkeep is so high that we've been a little reluctant about making the initial investment.
Oh, there's no charge for this Dane. He's from a very good line and just a year old.
That makes Bluff and this one almost twins.
You see, his mistress is very sorry to part with him, but she has to.
Is yours a male or a female?
Male. What's yours?
Female.
Fortunately, they won't fight.
No, they won't. And we can practically go into business.
Practically?
Business?
Well, you see, this dog is going to be a surprise for my husband. You see, Bluff was a surprise from him to me.
Well, Betty, what do you think?
I think that maybe I'd like to live on a farm, George.
You? You don't know a pig from a cow.
Well, neither did I at first.
I could learn.
I did. No, I love it. I wouldn't live anyplace else, and I wouldn't ask a dog to either.
You know, it's funny, George. I have a feeling that it's all right.
Then you mean you...
Oh, the doorbell. It's probably somebody else after the dog. Doesn't look like it's going to be hard to give this dog away.
Oh, it certainly won't be. Oh, tell them you've given it away already.
What?
Oh, what'll we do, George?
Well, I'm afraid we'll have to give whoever it is a look-see, Betty, at least.
I'm afraid so.
But I tell you what, Mrs. Norton.
What?
You go into that bedroom and close the door while we interview whoever is next.
Yes, do.
Why don't you do that
Please don't give the dog to anyone else.
Well, we'll try not to.
I think you'd better answer the door, Betty. Now, Mrs. Norton, you step right in here, and we'll call you.
Now, remember now, I'm trusting
Oh,
you.
don't worry. Well, she sure wants that dog, doesn't she, honey?
George,
What?
let's get rid of whoever that is fast.
Well...
Come on.
Well, we'll see. Go on.
First come, I always say.
Mrs. Pringle?
Yes?
I am, Mr.
You're here about the dog.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Come in.
Thank you. My name
And
is...
this is my husband, Mr. Pringle.
Hello there, fella. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Pringle. Yesterday I heard your program for the first time.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I usually take the 804, but yesterday I had an appointment at Grand Central, and I happened to take the 9:15, and my wife was in the other room, and she just happened to turn it on. And I don't usually listen to the morning programs, you understand?
Oh, you don't?
My wife turned that one on, and you had that business on about the police department and the single hair. I thought
Oh,
that was
yes,
very
of course.
interesting.
Yeah.
I was pretty lucky. Right at the end of the program, you happened to be talking about the dog.
Oh, the dog, yes.
He's not given away yet, is he?
Is he, George?
Well,
Is he,
Betty, after all...
Is he a good dog?
The best, out of Hexen Gold and Long Meadow Tigress.
They're pretty fine. I know
certainly
the
are.
breed very well.
Oh, you know dog.
How old is the dog?
George, why do we...
Betty, now, Betty. Just 1 year old.
Perfect. Well, Mr. Pringle, that's really all I have to know. But from what you said on the radio, you need to know quite a bit about the people that are going to get the dog.
We can't just give it to anybody. You understand that, of
It's
course.
sort of like adopting a baby, isn't it?
Well, I guess you could call it that. We've never done it before, you know, so...
Well, I'm an architect, and maybe you'd like to know that we have a 100-acre farm up in Connecticut.
Connecticut? Oh, sounds like dog country, Connecticut.
Oh, it is. It is. Danes need space, you know. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse than bottling them up.
No, they're big
Not
dogs.
for the dog or for the people who live with him.
Yeah.
I know, because...
George,
Yes, dear?
remember what I told you just before? First come?
My wife says her mind's made up.
Oh, no, and not exactly. You see, there's a lady in the other room.
Oh. A lady wants a Dane?
For a husband. You see, you're not quite the first.
I was afraid of that.
This lady in the other room, she has a lot of space, too.
And it so happens in Connecticut. And her husband's very nice.
Yeah, her... Betty, how do you know?
Well, he must be nice.
Well, what makes you think so?
Because she's nice.
Oh, fiddlesticks. Isn't that a woman for you? That doesn't
Oh.
prove anything. I'll bet he's a no-good, or he'd have come here himself.
Oh, well...
That kind of man lets his wife choose a dog. Not for me.
I think your husband's right, Mrs.
Sure.
Pringle. You really ought to reconsider the responsibility of a Great Dane is really a man's job. They're
Exactly
so
what I was
big
telling
and-
my wife before.
Oh, no.
You know, well, at least you should investigate this unknown quantity of
this lady's husband, don't
But
you think?
we've promised.
Now, look, Betty, 10 to 1, he's a little guy. Not worthy of a Dane at all. Now, this gentleman really knows dogs.
Oh, George is getting complicated.
Why shouldn't it be complicated?
Yes, why shouldn't it?
Because.
Because? Well, that's a good reason. Then let's do what you said in the first place.
What did I say in the first place?
First come, first serve.
Oh.
I see. Then that means that
You tell him, Betty.
you don't have to. I was too late, right?
We're sorry.
Yeah, we really are.
Well, I guess that's that then.
Oh, don't be so disappointed.
Why shouldn't it be? You don't get offered a Great Dane every day.
Well, that's right, Betty. Don't tell him not to be disappointed. It's his right.
Well, thanks
He wants to
anyway.
be.
Well, I'm certainly glad I didn't tell my wife I was coming down here. She'd be awfully disappointed if I came home empty Dane. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Pringle, Mr. Pringle.
Bye.
I listened to your program anyway. Thanks a lot.
That's very nice of you. So long, feller. Well, he was a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. She's nice, too, though. So don't get feeling guilty.
Yep.
Let's go in and tell her.
Betty, I'm thinking. You know what?
What?
He was such a nice guy. Maybe we ought to find him a Dane, too.
Some days you seem to accomplish a great deal very easily, and other times you've put in lots of effort without much result. One secret of easy accomplishment is to work refreshed. Take it easy. Pause for ice-cold Coca-Cola. Let that delicious refreshment relax you. Have a Coke, and you'll go back to the job with more zest, whether you work with your hands or your head.
Mr. King, excuse me, but if you'd been George and I, what would you have done?
Given the dog to the man and the lady, too.
Oh, but we didn't. I mean, the man is quite dogless.
Not as dogless as you think. He already has one Dane, now he has another, but the second one is a surprise.
Oh, then it's a surprise to me, too.
Well, that it is. You see, Claudia and David are married.
Claudia and... What did you say?
Those two young people are husband and wife. Giving the Dane to her meant giving the Dane to him.
Oh, my gosh. Wait till I tell George.
Not too loud. David's not supposed to know. Not today, anyway.
George! Hey, George, listen!
Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now, this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. And now, here's a word from your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola.
For the days when Coca-Cola was just bottled down the street, don't you know? November 30th, 1948, 75 years ago, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great Thursday. We will see you on a TGI Friday for more Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.